Hey, okay, I tried to do this live, but our internet is absolute shit the last few days, and today's just absolutely terrible. I can't even get online for more than a few seconds at a time, it seems. Uploading this should be interesting. So, today I'm starting a new project, and that is a 30-day guarantee daily, every single day, at least half an hour, preferably 45 minutes of practice playing harmonica. So, I started playing harmonica before I moved up here to Fort Smith. So, I've lived here 6 years now. It was either the summer before, so coming up on 7 years, or maybe even the summer before that, which is probably even more likely. So, possibly 8 years ago. Actually, I think it might have been seven. Doesn't really matter either way. I've been playing harmonica for that long, and I'm probably in terms of technique, probably an advanced beginner level. That's kind of what I would think of myself as, at least in terms of technique. In terms of my library of riffs and songs, it's pretty light. The problem I always have is I have a difficult time focusing on doing any kind of musical creativity because I expect, just like when I started playing guitar 30 years ago, or just about 30 years ago as a kid, I wanted to be able to just play. Practice, not as focused. Really sucked at that kind of thing. Still not always very good at it, but I'm a lot more focused now than I used to be. But even so, I go in phases. I've attended two shared harvest harmonica retreats in Dunnville, Ontario. They take place in June. If you're a harmonica player, they're awesome. I've learned from a variety of instructors there. Adam Gusso, who I kind of consider my first teacher, even though it was all video lessons that I purchased off of his site, modernbluesharmonica.com. I learned a few things from Jerome Godbout during that first one that I attended. Jerome's actually kind of the reason that I first picked up the harmonica. I saw him play in a little bar in Ajax. It's freaking awesome set that he put on, and it just made me fall in love with that style of music. I mean, I love the blues anyway. I'm like, but all of a sudden it was like, you know what? This little thing right here, that's what I want to play, and I want to be able to play like that. My goals have changed, but I mean, still, I love Jerome's music. I learned from Carlos Del Junco. I first met him at the Shared Harvest retreat. And later I took lessons from him on and off for probably about a year and a half. The second retreat that I went to, that was 2014. The second retreat I went to was 2016. And I learned from Rolly Platt, who's one of the top harmonica players in Canada. Again, Mike Stevens, also a top harmonica player. Really, really good guy. Really has a good handle on how to express creativity in music that a handle I'll never have. Known for bringing harmonica into bluegrass. And from Ronnie Shellist, who since taking a workshop with him at the retreat, I've attended a couple of the Global Blues Harmonica Summits, which again, same thing with the Shared Harvest retreat. If you can attend them and you're a harmonica player, or you want to learn to play harmonica, especially blues harmonica, you've got to attend these things. These online workshops are phenomenal. It's about 4 hours worth of content, and it's just hardcore. This most recent one that happened yesterday was all how to kind of take yourself into the jam environment. You know, kind of what you need to know as a blues player. If you're playing blues harmonica, you need to know these certain things. Like here, B.B. King blues, T-Bone Walker. Yeah, you need to kind of understand this and the differences between them, and what to kind of go. My biggest question is all on etiquette, at a jam. What you should bring with you, that kind of thing. And Ronnie and Jerry Hunt, who he had with him, were awesome in just describing kind of what steps to take, what you should know, how to work with a band, something that I really kind of hope to do soon. Anyway, so I started off playing. I don't actually have the first harmonica with me. It's probably buried downstairs because I hate this harmonica at this point. But I've got a bunch of them because this is what I started with. I should have listened to Adam Gusso and bought a marine band the first thing, but what I've got here I've got one of the harp key stickers on it, but it is a Hohner blues harp for what is a focused on, or sorry, what is marketed towards blues players. This is shit for playing blues. I absolutely despise this harmonica, but I've got a couple of them. When I started learning to bend, this was terrible. It's so hard to bend. It's not blues friendly. I'm actually slowly kind of phasing these out of my collection and replacing them with what I've been playing the last few years. I actually kind of got to the point I wore the first Marine Band C harp out completely. It's got, like, if you look at this, it's all this is the one that I just started using recently, and I had pinched this, so it had this little bend in it. If you see videos, a lot of old school harmonica players, they've got these, and there's just they've gripped it so tight that they've actually bent the frame here of the clamshell, and that's what I managed to do with my first Hohner Marine Band. I suppose that is the one good thing about the blues harp, is it's got these little legs here, which kind of keep you from pinching it. I suppose you could probably do it with enough force, but it's not going to happen just in just playing it regularly. So I have managed to collect all kinds of stuff for harmonica, and my goal now, of course, is to start using it. This is essentially the collection, mostly. Oop, focus, there we go. So, blue harps of various styles, most keys as well as a couple of odd keys. Also, after learning from Mike Stevens, I also picked up one of his brand, which isn't a standard Richter tune. It actually allows you to bend your 7 through 10s on kind of the draw instead of the blow. So it kind of does the opposite of Richter tuning once you hit the 7. Kind of cool, but just I suppose I'm kind of used to the Richter tuning because that's what everybody started with. So I just haven't really switched. I have a bunch of these little things. Again, Hohner, as you can probably see there, the focus isn't very good with this. Music Fun, cheap $8-10 harmonicas. I think about $6 US in the States. I got a bunch of those from the Mile High Harmonica Club out of Denver, Colorado, who gave me a hand in helping to prepare a harmonica workshop that I'm planning on doing here in Fort Smith in the next couple of months. For some reason, I bought a Golden Melody harmonica, which has a slightly different setup than your standard Richter tuning. So I have no idea how to play that properly because its melodies are not typical. I mean, like, folk melodies are not typically what I play, although, like so many others, I learned to play by starting with O Susanna. I have a cheap Swan chromatic harmonica. Again, no idea whatsoever how to play this, but for some reason I felt the need to buy one. Same thing with this. This is a, let's see if I can see the Suzuki Tremolo harmonica. I've messed around with this one a little bit, mostly because I like the forced tremolo in it, which is what it's supposed to do, but again, not really using that for anything in particular. I have these things here, and they serve no real purpose in what I do. I like to play blues. I would love to learn a little bit of country harmonica. Oh, here we go. Because I couldn't resist the coffin case, I bought an Ozzy Osbourne harmonica, because that's what Ozzy's known for, playing the harmonica. I have other things. I have the Harpier, which is essentially you can play your harmonica with it, and you can put the little earbuds in, and it'll give you kind of like a vintage amplified sound in your ear. I think I bought that because it was cheap and it seemed like a good idea at the time. I have a Harpois. I've messed around with it a little bit. This is Rolly Platt's design, and it's kind of a cool thing, but I really need to use it, or learn to use it, I should say, before I do anything else around it. I got a rack, neck rack for playing harmonica, while you're also playing guitar. I can't play guitar and sing. I certainly can't play guitar and play harmonica. It's just not possible. I have my little notebook where I keep notes as to what I'm doing and what I've learned. The notebook I've used very few pages out of it, but it has stickers all over it, which is kind of cool. Look at items, things on the back that have nothing to do with harmonica. But that's what I've got, and I use this to keep notes, and I've had this apparently for 3.5 years and have barely used any pages in it, just to show you how much I've really used that. So when I started playing, I actually bought this. Well, I bought this. Let's try that again. I bought this and this. So Winslow wrote, Winslow Yerkes, I'm honestly not sure about the pronunciation of his last name, but he wrote both of those books, and that kind of, besides Adam Gusso's video tutorials, that's kind of what I focused on when I started playing. That's what I read. I like to read things to get a sense of them. I'm probably much better at the academic side of music playing than I am at actually playing music. And of course I've picked up over the years several other books that I have barely used, or I just seem to like to have around. And there's those. I have tons of content actually printed out. Half of this is actually for guitar, because I also struggle to play blues guitar and such. But there are songs, there are prints-outs, there's Jerome Godbout's Way of the Blues, which he gave to me one night after a concert in Ajax. There's a bunch of Adam Gusso things here as well. I've used some of these to greater and lesser extents. This video's already getting very long for kind of an introduction to what I'm doing. But the focus for the next month especially is, I printed this out, and this is, if you can see that, is a little sheet from Ronnie Shellist. He sent an email newsletter out using his harmonica123.com newsletter. And it's a sheet of suggestions for structuring your practice sessions based on a 45-minute practice session. He says he gives this to his students. And this is what I'm gonna follow for the next 30 days in the hopes of building good practice structure and good habits in playing. That I'm going to kind of wrap this video up, I think. I was going to actually do a little bit of playing on camera to kind of show where I am at the moment. Actually, maybe just quickly. So, I've posted videos before. I can play single notes. I can play chords. I can do a little bit of tongue blocking. I'll grab my G harmonica. I can also go do octaves there. So the song that I started with, of course, was "Oh Susanna," learning it from Adam Gusso's tutorials. Funny, when I first started playing, I tried to play like Gusso because he kind of cups like this. So you kind of like do full open. It only took a few months before I realized that was not the way for me. I much prefer the typical grasp with the left hand and the right hand for cupping. I've worked on various blues licks over the years as well, kind of. and various other things. Over the next 30 days, I want to be posting videos here regularly, and hopefully not to get too many negative comments on here. So anyway, what I'm going to do now is get on to practicing now that I've kind of started with this video. Anyway, have a good one.